Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Sending Abundance YouTube channel. I am long overdue to discuss our trip to Ottawa with my wife. We went a couple of weeks ago to check out our rental properties. We did not check all of them. We just went to see some of the townhouses that we got in there. And the reason is that we are limited in time. We go in one day. As a reminder, we're investors from Toronto who invest in Ottawa, and not only in Ottawa, but I do have multiple properties. And what we do, we leave in the morning at about 7 a.m. Just once a year. We drive up to Ottawa. It's about 4.5 hour-ish drive. And then see as many properties as we can. We met our realtor to say hi and just see if she's got any new deals for us. We've met our maintenance person who's done a lot of good work, some smaller projects, smaller scale. I've never met the guy, so it's just really interesting to put a face to the name and kind of get your own impression on this person in case he's going to continue working for me, and he likely will. We do give a heads up to the tenants before leaving. So my usual strategy is to give them a kind of quick text. Hey, in a couple of weeks time, I'm going to be coming down to Ottawa. It's just a short one-day trip. Are you available? Can I swing by, check out the unit? Those townhouses that we did visit, those are condo townhouses. So there couldn't be anything really major with them in terms of structurally, but inside, I definitely want to check them out. What we do is then 2 days prior, maybe 3 days prior, send another text saying, hey, the date is firm. I'm definitely coming. Are you available? Are you working from home? Can I see the place? Are you going to be in the neighborhood? And then we adjust our schedule. So I visited six properties, and those 6 properties all asked to be there, say between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock at night, or maybe 7 o'clock at night. So that's what I did. I scheduled myself for that time frame and used the rest of the afternoon from 12 till say 3 o'clock to meet with the realtor and swing by the potential flip properties, and also have lunch, of course. There is a separate video on the flipping properties, but for this one, just quickly to tell you why are we going once a year. So to go more often is a bit of a asking for trouble. If you go more than once a year, the tenant will usually find something that's not working. The door is not on the hinge. Maybe this water is not running nicely from this particular tap. I have mice in the house. I got some, I don't know, a branch hanging off the tree that may be scratching my window, yada yada. There's going to be a lot of potential for the tenant to complain and create some maintenance expenses and maintenance issues for you. On the flip side, if you don't go more than, you don't go for a long time, not even once a year, then that relationship deteriorates. You don't get to see the property, you don't get to see the tenant, they don't know who you are, they think you're this, absentee landlord who doesn't really care about their property or themselves, which, there could be true. Maybe it's not in your cards to visit them often or even once a year. But I try to do that. It gives this personal touch. Also, for those properties that we do visit, we bring like a small Starbucks card, maybe $20, $25 for them to have a cup of coffee. It's a nice gesture. We don't go overboard. We don't buy any expensive gift baskets or give them like a big amounts, $100 in gifts or anything like that. But maybe 20, 25 bucks goes a long way. They do appreciate it. It was a nice surprise. We have a small card. We write down like best wishes for the year. It's also the holiday season. A lot of these families have kids. So if you like, you can throw in like a chocolate or something for the children. The things that I look for in the property when I visit, certainly fire alarms. So fire alarms and safety is big. I'd like to test every single detector. I'd like to replace those batteries, press those buttons, hear the noise, show the tenants how to open the cover, maybe if to change the batteries in case the fire alarm stopped working and they have to do it themselves. And then the next thing we check for sure is the furnace. Some of those townhouses in Ottawa, they are heated by radiating heat from boiler. So the natural gas comes in, it heats up the water, the water runs in the pipes around the townhouse, kind of heating up the space, in which case there is no filtering. For the air furnaces that are heated by natural gas and then force air in the property, those ones have filters, and believe me, not every tenant knows how to replace them. So what I do is I actually open up the furnace, pull out the filter, show them the how it's done, how to put the new one in, and then take a picture of the size of the filter, so that next time if I ever need to buy them, nobody needs to go to the property, open up the furnace, and check out what kind of filter do I need. They're usually not that expensive, $10, $15. There was one property where the tenant told me that they've pulled out the filter, but they couldn't find a similar one in Home Depot, so they never replaced it. That has two issues. One, the family is living in there, they have children, they breathe the air that has not been cleaned, so that's not good for their health reasons. But it also makes the furnace run less efficiently, potentially maybe damaging the furnace. I'm not an HVAC person, but I do think changing the filter is super important for the health of the furnace itself. So what I've done is I looked at the label, took a kind of a 2-minute break, searched up the internet, found the same filter for $30 on Amazon. You can order something like three filters for $80, free delivery, goes straight to their house, and the tenant could just replace the filter. And that's exactly what I've done. I ordered it for them. It's $90 expense, but it's gonna last a year and a half. I am certain that they've actually have it. I showed them how to replace it. They confirmed later by email or text message when the filters did arrive. They confirmed that they've actually changed them. So that's give me some confidence that now they know how to do it. They will do it 6 months from now. I might actually follow up on that one. Furnaces and fire alarms are for sure my primary concern. But then we also sit down with the tenant and say, hey, how's it going? We don't literally need to sit down. Like, we just walk around the house and say, hey, is there anything else not working? Sometimes it's as simple as a door is off the hinge, or they had like a strip, a plastic or rubber strip that connects the tile on the main floor and the staircase carpet. So that rubber, kind of the triangle-ish shape, was missing. I think it's called the transom. It was missing. We replaced it. He brought a new one, but somehow he doesn't have the tools or the desire, so he asked me to put that on. Took me 5 minutes. I put like 5-6 screws, put that nicely in. The guy's happy. I know that it's done and there's no safety hazard in the house. Nobody's tripping over that transom anymore. What you could find, what we found in one location, is that they've been putting their eating area right on the hardwood next to the kitchen, and the chairs and the table itself did not have that wool protection or the rubber protection at the bottom, so it was scratching up the hardwood. Not something I'd like to see, certainly not something I'd like them to continue doing. So I sort of emphasized that they need to put something on the legs of the chair. And what they've done, instead of buying any kind of wool or rubber protection, instead they put a rug. They put a rug under the dining area, so that now it's no longer extending those scratches and making any further damages. So all in all, very successful trip. Tenants appreciate it. They see the attention. If I ever need something else from them, either let's say I'm selling the property or there is a maintenance issue and maybe I cannot fix it quickly, there will be that positive rapport established so that we could work things out, as opposed to me being an absentee, potentially this rich guy from Toronto who owns Ottawa houses, does not treat their tenants well. Let's kind of, not think about them as a person and think about them as a pure business. In a way it is, but we are dealing with people. This is people's business. It's always great to have this good relationship, and also personally ensure that the property is in a good shape. Nobody's trashing it. Nobody's doing like a grow up in there. That tenants are not sort of handling and surviving some crazy issue that they don't want to tell you about or they don't think to tell you about, and then it's potentially bothering them. What I'd be most afraid of if someone, let's say, has a couple of broken windows, or maybe their heating is not working well, they're not happy, they potentially think of moving out, and they're not even telling me about it. So coming in and doing this type of inspection ensures that we're not in that position. There's nothing leaking from the roof, for example. It's not like a potential leak somewhere that they're not disclosing to me, because they can live with it, no big deal, right? Maybe the ceiling is a little bit wet. We had that once. But then what turns out is that you can fix the roof and protect your property from huge damage from a leaking roof. So those trips once a year do help a lot. I do encourage them. I think they're important, and given that it's a holiday season, allows me and my wife to get out of the house, have like a little mini adventure. We drive within the same day. We finish all of our business by say 6 or 7 p.m. We have a nice dinner, and then we drive back to Toronto. Slightly taxing on just a day, right? Like, it's a lot of driving. It's a full day in the car. But then if you have the sort of physical strength and you're doing it as two drivers, so it's not that bad, then we almost take it as an adventure, and we do it every year. And so far it works wonders for us. So thank you so much for listening in, and I do continue my intention to continue posting 2 videos per week on this channel. Hopefully that's value. If you do find any kind of interesting tips that you'd like to hear from me, do let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, help me advance it. We'll see how far it goes in 2023. 2022 was an interesting year. Lots of volatility in the market, both in real estate, stocks, and crypto. So I'm anxious to see what 2023 brings. Hopefully there's going to be more positive than negative. And this channel will help figure out how to make more money for our families and protect our financial future, and we'll do it together. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful holiday, and stay tuned for new videos. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is one of our properties in Ottawa. That's the typical stacked townhome unit with parking on the surface. There's some parking on the street available for everyone. And the units are partially underground, but there's plenty of light, and it's a good cozy unit. And then there's one on the main floor, and that's typically connected to the basement unit, so it's like one townhouse. And then the other townhouses would be on the 2nd and 3rd floor. And people rent both of them despite the lack of parking. So let's go check out the unit inside.